This is Eric Whalen from Super Secret Project X, and this is right there, right here, right here, right here. Super Secret Project Sketch. Don't try this at home. It's only for professionals. Tonight, this evening, I'm going to be working on Ricardio from Adventure Time. It has been a long week, and I need a little bit of this wonderfully messed up character. I'm serious. First time I saw her, and there was a lot of moments in Adventure Time where I was like, "What the hell are they doing?" But Ricardio was like, I think he was the first moment where I was really, truly like, what the hell? I mean, that just took it to a whole new level of weird. I really, I love Ricardio. I mean, he was only in the show, to my knowledge, and I haven't had a chance to finish it yet. I'm currently Netflixing the rest of it. But I only remember him being in twice, and I hope they bring him in again because I haven't finished the series yet. So I get it. I'm behind the time. Leave me alone. Ricardio. Yeah.
Well, for some reason, the live chat just dropped. The live stream just dropped. It's not letting me watch live on Twitch itself.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's not letting me watch live on Twitch. It was live for a bit, and then it just stopped.
Okay, well, let's let it run for a little bit here, and there's nothing wrong on this end of it, so we will keep going.
Okay.
See if you can just reconnect. Perhaps they are just having issues.
We'll see. As of right now, it only shows like 45 seconds of the live feed, and it just stops.
Alright. Well, I can't imagine what I would have done wrong.
If it's doing the same stupid thing it did last week, and it cut out.
Well, I can't do anything about it here.
Yep, I know. I'm just letting you know and informing you what's going on.
Cool.
Honestly, I am too tired to deal with anything.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's totally fine, sweetie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, so funny. I just love the fact that the moment they caught him as a villain, and the villainous thing that came out of his mouth is, "Princess Bubblegum, I want to pull your heart from your chest and make out with it." I'm like, what's wrong with these people? I love it to death. And the fact that they got George Takei to do the line, it's just so good.
Okay, we got it going. I needed to quit out of my app and then restart it.
I see. I kind of figured it was just something kind of...
Yeah, it was always my fault. I'm gonna message something and say hello.
Okay. Okay, what now?
I'm just seeing if the chat pops up on your screen.
Yeah, I've come to the conclusion that I have seriously not set up chat correctly. And the more I'm kind of thinking about it, the more I'm like, maybe I just shouldn't.
Yeah,
I mean, let people chat. I mean, there's clearly a little chat room here. It says hello, but it didn't pop up on your screen. I'm going like, does it really need to be on screen? I mean, they've got it in their little chat window anyway. So
well, it has a red dot. I'm not sure if that means that it's live or if there's something wrong, because I have no idea what the red dot on your signifies. Right?
I would assume live. But currently, I am so busy I can only learn so much at once. So I'm going to say yes, and then be perhaps very seriously proven very wrong later. Give him those wonderful cheekbones. Oh, Princess Bubblegum. It's funny, I was at work, and Michael's the new, one of my new neighbors, cubicle neighbors, and we were just, he's finally gotten to a point where he can again afford to get games and stuff, so he's doing well enough, and he's like, I got a new PS4. He's telling me about the games he was playing. I'm like, oh, right on. Hey, did you play any of the Uncharted games? He's like, oh, I played the fourth one. It was so good. I'm like, oh, wonderful. That's a good one. I was like, might want to see if you can get the others. The others were really good. And then I was like, have you played The Last of Us? And he's like, I've heard of it. I haven't played it. I'm like, I told him about it. He got to a point where he's like, oh, dude, just shut up. I need to go play this game now. So I'm like, yeah, it is. It's just so good. I cannot wait for the second game. The trailer for the second game is so dark. I mean, it gives The Walking Dead a serious run for its ugly money. Just... a very serious run. Oh my god. And what I love is there was no there's none of the main characters in the trailer, so it just left you sitting there going like, well, what the heck is going on? And that's what I really loved about it. I was going like, man, what is happening? Because I don't think they're going to completely leave those characters out. I mean, they might. I mean, they might they might completely do a different story. And then I was wondering what they would do with the Uncharted games, because I really loved those. Those were really, really fun. And I'm hoping they do something with that franchise, because that was really just kind of the thing that I kind of needed, I mean, if we're not going to get any more proper Indiana Jones movies, I was kind of hoping we could get some more Uncharted stuff, because I just really love that kind of genre. I guess it's archaeological adventure, I suppose. Hmm.
Oh, sorry, just saw an idiot person that
Why are you apologizing?
because random thought. A person spelled a word right, and then did the star star. I meant this word, and then spelled the word wrong.
That could be funny. 3 weeks later, he's divorced. Said what? And I've had a couple times where, like, one of my work emails, I basically said, "How are you doing?" or something like that, and I guess I just wasn't paying attention to my fingers, and the email went out. "How you doing?" The guy was like, that was funny. I was like, it was an accident. He's like, nah, that's cool, man. I got a good laugh out of it. I'm like, ho, you some kind of hoe. Oh yeah. Just dig the fact that one of the main villains, his actual heart is another villain. Just so funny. I mean, the first time they did that and they revealed that, I was going like, why? Then I was wondering, would they pull out any of the other organs out of Ice King? You know, are they gonna do it? Is it perhaps a villainous kidney or liver? A particularly arsonistic prostate? I know. He's got a specific kind of teeth, but I'm going to give him slightly more normal teeth. Because I think that'll make him creepier.
Give him the the live action Sonic the Hedgehog teeth.
Why would they do that? I'm not even a Sonic the Hedgehog fan, and that pissed me off. You freaking kidding me? It's not difficult to do this stuff. It's like if they did like Adventure Time, and they was like, let's get John Goodman to play Ricardio, you know, and then let's just change everything about the characters. Yeah, like, well, the fans should really react well to that, don't you think? Don't you think? Oh my god. You just want to start slapping people. I mean, I don't mean to really, I don't want to really physically hurt somebody. But you're just like, do they need to be shaken? It's like, guys, it's easy. You get a hold of the people who are always doing it. You get a hold of the fans. You find out if you yourself don't understand. You find out. You don't sit there and go like, oh, we're going to fix this. No, you're not going to fix it. You're going to screw it up.
Well, they gotta fix it now.
Well, that's my point, is they feel that they need to fix it. Like Shyamalan did with Last Airbender. It's like, dude, I'm a fan of this. No, you're not. M. Night Shyamalan, you're not a fan of Last Airbender. If you were, the Last Airbender movie would have been The Last Airbender. Not this weird thing you came up with. It's like what's with Sonic the Hedgehog. It's just like, if you don't know what it is, why are you doing it? Then if you don't know what it is and you're doing it, why didn't you find out what Sonic the Hedgehog was? It's not hard. It just isn't hard.
It's like somebody found the script that someone wrote from over 20 years ago, dusted it off and goes, hey, do the kids still like this?
Yeah, it's some kind of blue running wombat. It's a hedgehog. Well, whatever.
It's like they know who Sonic is. It's just that whatever interpretation that they found somebody's like fanfic or something like that. I don't know.
Well, it's like if they did a live action Simpsons. And then they went in and went, well, you know what? Nobody really knows who these Simpsons people are. This is our time to shine. We'll develop something new. It's like, what are you... Why would you even have a thought process like that?
Let's put them into the real world.
We could make the Simpsons movie live action and put them in New York. How about that? We could film the whole thing in New York. And everyone will love it because it's in New York. It's like, you people are idiots. You don't take the Smurfs, pull them out of the Enchanted Forest, and send them to New York. Why?
They sure did.
I just don't understand. Why would you do stupid things like that?
So I just keep laughing at the fact that you have a property like that, and your trailer theme is Gangsta's Paradise, and then you have what's his name, Jason Marsden. It's like, did they even just remember that we're not in the 90s anymore?
I know. And the thing is Gangsta's Paradise isn't a terrible song to use for certain things.
It's a great song.
But it's weird for that.
It's a great song.
It's
but not
yeah.
for Sonic the Hedgehog.
No.
Movie. I am still really baffled as to why they did that.
I really am. I'm just lost. The whole thing has just deeply confused me because I'm just like, why? And I get it. I get they're making money. I get they had a license. I get why. But I just don't get why they can't. They don't believe that they can make money by making the license what it's supposed to be. That's what I don't understand. They're taking more of a gamble taking it away from the property than which the obvious answer is, you just give people Sonic the Hedgehog. You don't reinvent it. You don't go like, man, what if we have, I don't know, The Rock play Sonic the Hedgehog?
Well,
which would be funny, but it wouldn't be right.
well, considering the people who did it are the same folks who did do Fast and Furious, which the rock stars in. Well, somebody put a great thing up online that says, because I think is it Paramount? Yeah, Paramount who's releasing the movie. Like Paramount releases the first teaser image. Everybody goes, ew. Paramount releases the character designs. Everyone goes, ew. Paramount releases the trailer for the movie. Everyone goes, ew. What the heck? Paramount, well, why didn't you tell us that this was wrong?
Well, it's the funny thing. It's like when Lucas came back when he was redoing Star Wars, and he made a character that was like Yoda's ugly cousin, and everyone like clearly in the studio went, "This doesn't look like Yoda." By the way, that studio has a bronze statue of Yoda out in front of it. The original Yoda in bronze is in front of that freaking studio, of which Lucas must have walked by at some point in time. Everybody in that studio must have seen Star Wars, and nobody would tell him that they had a completely different character on the screen. Nobody had the balls to tell Lucas, that's not Yoda. And I'm not sitting there being like a huge Star Wars snob, because I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. I just like it. It's not like my soul is wrapped up in Star Wars. But when I saw it, I was like looking at that character going like, that ain't Yoda. What are you doing? It's easy. You watch Star Wars and you see what freaking Yoda looks like. You put Sonic the Hedgehog, the game, into a game system, and you look at all the cartoons done, and you look at the comic books, and then you look at your production art and go like, well, who the heck have we been drawing this entire time? It's not hard. It just isn't. They just weren't spending any amount of time doing their freaking jobs. I do production artwork for a corporation. I know what it is to go to the style guide and check out what the licensor wants.
The sad thing
It's
is,
you just do that.
the sad thing is, they probably did that. It's just that the fact that it all came down from some like bigwig,
Don't know shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
person who decided that, hey, this is what we're going to do, and probably a bunch of designers went, this isn't going to sit right. This doesn't look right. I don't care. Do it anyway. All right.
Well, they pay me a lot of money, so my decisions, of course, must be right. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. That's not what that means. It just means you're paid a lot of money. That's literally all that means.
Whose name has a gold placard?
Well, I'm sorry, what was that?
Whose name has a gold placard?
I don't care what medal your placard is in. If you don't know what you're talking about, you don't know what you're talking about. It's that simple. It's like if you know how to run a studio, then you run a studio. But if you don't know jack about a license, then shut up. Run the studio. Let the people that know about something run that thing. It's not even like a difficult concept. Well, Eric, what do you know about it? Like, clearly, I don't know anything because it's like if you did the Last Airbender movie, what would you have done? It's like, well, it's incredibly simple. I would have spent one weekend at the very beginning of the process before anybody else had been called, actually it would have been a little longer than a weekend, but grabbed all of Last Airbender, watched it, brewed for a week, thought about it, and then grabbed the same DVDs and actually tried to edit the show together into a movie. And then find out where the actual problems are. And you go like, well, this doesn't work here, then I have to cut that there, blah, blah, blah. I'm not expecting that they're going to do an exact translation. But the fact that Shyamalan just looked at it and said, let's just completely change everything, including the pronunciations of names, and it's just like...
And whitewashing characters, and which I was really surprised at the fact that he did that. I'm just like, dude.
It's weird.
Like,
I'm not huge on racial politics, but it's weird that the cast of heroes that was mostly dark-skinned became entirely light-skinned, and the cast of mostly villains, mostly being light-skinned, became dark-skinned. I'm not into racial politics, but that was just so weird.
And I this is one of my crackpot theories here, is the fact that Shyamalan said that he was a fan of the show. And to me...
He can't be.
I honestly believe that he not recognized, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but basically he liked the Fire Nation, and he liked...
Oh, he identified with them.
Yeah, identified, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And so therefore, because of that, it was almost like a self-insert of having the Fire Kingdom, Fire Nation, looking like people like himself in a sense.
But now, I'm trying to recall. Didn't they basically kind of make the Fire Nation sort of Arabian, or...
They made the Fire Nation...
because he's Indian, if I remember correctly, right? I don't remember them looking Indian at all. I remember them having this... And they looked great. I mean, if it was something else other than Airbender, I would have been like, what's this?
They looked...
But...
They looked Indian to Middle Eastern to me.
Okay, did they? Okay, because it's literally been so long, and I've been trying to block anything I know of that movie out of my head, because it was one of what little I saw. I was so mad. I was like, what is this?
Which is why I'm actually kind of excited and curious as to the Airbender live action coming to Netflix, actually done by the creators.
Yeah, no, that's I'm keeping a very serious open mind, because the original people are involved, and I'm going like, okay, original people, those are the original creators. Let's see what they do, and if the whole thing turns into a whole sloppy mess, then I go, I got the cartoon. I don't have to worry about anything else. But yeah, just like... And like I've ever run a studio, like I've ever put a movie together, but I just end up going like, it can't be difficult to make this thing from, it just can't be. I'm sorry, I can't understand how this is a problem. Why is this difficult? And the funny thing is, every once in a while you get some inspirational stuff. It's like, I still say the best thing the Wachowskis ever did was Speed Racer. And Speed Racer wasn't exactly the original show, but it also was kind of the original show at the same time. It was weird. I kind of sound a little hypocritical there, but that one for some reason worked. Oh yeah? Yeah, Ricardio. I thought Speed Racer worked. Oh yeah?
It worked really well. I mean,
Yeah.
we had a fun time watching that. To me, it was a good translation of the series. Like I said, my only complaint in the movie, and it's very, very, just very bland, and it's actually just a personal thing, is I didn't like the fact that Speed swore. Like towards the end of the movie, when they were doing the final race, and he's like, don't bring that up in here. Yeah, and I was like, to me that seemed like that was really out of character for him.
Yeah, that was it didn't bother me too much, but I can see what you're saying.
Yeah, like I said, it's a very
it didn't seem quite right.
It was a minor complaint, like so that was my only personal thing. Like it just seemed like it was very out of character for him. Other than that, I had a really fun time with the movie.
Yeah, I thought that was just a really fun one. Oh yeah.
You watched the little bunny scare a fennec fox.
I'm sorry, what now?
I just watched the little bunny scare a fennec fox by accident. When the bunny comes up behind the fox is sniffing something. They're either, by the looks of it, they're in a, either pets or they're in a facility for animals like that. Kind of bunny comes up and sniffs. The fox turns around, sees the rabbit, jumps, goes, oh crap, and then starts trying to run on the slippery floor. So he's doing the Scooby-Doo, like, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap.
Awesome. Awesome. Oh yeah. Oh, there we go. I think we had a little bit too much of the setting sun coming in. It was wiping the paper out a little bit earlier. It's looking better now. It's funny, if I leave the auto exposure on so it adjusts for all that stuff, it kind of does this unsettling, soft wavering effect on the screen, which is like really not awesome to look at. But then if the lighting changes or gets too bright or whatever, then it's too bright, you know. Oh, first world problems. Let me give them like those 1920 eyelid reflections. It's like that's like the last real hardcore nerd thing that I'm trying to kind of like tone down, you know, is the whole just freaking get it right. And I'm trying to like you know, keep all that stuff kind of under control, you know, but you get to a point where you're like, guys, this isn't hard. Like I'm trying not to be like an insufferable nerd, but you're dragging me back in. It's just freaking make the movie the way it's supposed to be.
Somebody's doing somebody did a reply of with them deciding to remake the movie, do the redesigns.
Yeah.
They're saying this is not really good news because if that's true.
Yeah, speak up just a little bit, sweetie.
1 second.
It's the airplane.
Yeah, it's like when they decide to redo the movie, this is what's likely going to happen is that they're not going to delay the release, which means a 6-month crunch time until it's released for the because the effects artist, no adjustment in the budget, and unpaid overtime for those workers, and then execs realizing that this is something that they can do to their people. So it's like purposefully make something crappy, go, oh, we'll fix it in post, and then don't pay your people for it.
Oh, don't worry. We don't have to spend any of our time worrying about it. Let's have all those people down the line that are making 1/100th of what we are making blow massive amounts of their time after they finish the job that we screwed up.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, guys. Freaking...
And there's other people who are saying, you know what? What if this is all a big marketing ploy that
No,
they release?
that's too clever.
They're like they release the crap, then go, okay, we'll fix it, and then it's already done, and they release the actual.
No, that's too clever. It's Roy at work. It's actually, it was interesting. He said that he was like that's the problem with corporations, is that they are filled with really lazy people. So they'll do whatever they can to make the money that they can make with the least amount of work humanly possible. So the vast majority of corporations and studios like that, they don't put that kind of thought into it. They just sit there and go like, well, we can just do the thing and blah, 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 and yada, yada, and, and then something goes horrifically wrong. Well, we don't have to worry about it. We got all those poor suckers on a contract that they probably didn't read the fine print on. I was looking at it going like, well, hey, if they pay those guys again to fix it, then it might be 6 months crunch time, but at least they get paid for it. But if they're not getting paid for it, I think that's time for torches and pitchforks at that point, and drag the Frankenstein's monster of the movie executives out into the parking lot and make them eat White Castle. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Gonna make them eat White Castle. Oh, Ricardio, you are hideously evil. Oh yeah. Oh, Ricardio.
Speaking of stupid executive decisions, apparently Adobe, in their ever-growing wisdom of decided that their one program, there's the super cheap program of Photoshop and Lightroom, which is what we have.
Yeah.
They decided we're going to double the price.
Because they're jerks.
And then they're like, well, we're not going to double it for everybody. We're just rolling. For some dumb reason, they decided we're going to roll out a test price of this because apparently
maybe they'll like it if we charge them more.
Yeah, apparently the only thing was you got like a extra terabyte of cloud storage.
I got a friggin' hard drive.
Yeah, but
Freaking
the
sick.
only argument for that I'm going to say is a lot of people don't have with a lot of the solid state stuff that they have now. A lot of the hard drive stuff and cloud storage is now easier because people take their tablets and do work on tablets, and so you don't always want to carry your hard drive. You just take your stuff from the cloud and just go back and forth with it.
Well, no, I mean, I understand that, but you just pick up a hard drive and you back your stuff up.
Yeah, and that's what I'm
Why in the world are you going to charge me for more software for something I don't need?
Because that's what I'm saying, because a lot of people don't carry hard drives anymore, but cloud...
No, they don't have to.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
drives,
When you go home, back your stuff up on a hard drive.
A lot of people aren't doing that. It's easy to do
It's not hard.
No, but once again, that, like how we thought, like when we were younger and we were doing the whole art thing and the portable thing, like with zip drives and all that stuff, the new thing now is the cloud storage. That literally is is what people do.
Yeah, but the thing is they don't have to do it. Hate to sound old, but you don't have to do it. You can just back your stuff up when you get home.
Well, they do when they get home, but they save it on the cloud anyway.
But that's what I'm saying is you do that, and then the whole Adobe charging us yet more money for no good reason. It's like, guys, just stop. We've already given you money. We don't need to give you more.
Well, that was the thought that they were going to do, and now they're trying to their thing was apparently they gauged the reaction of everybody and said we're going to back down on that.
Well, good.
Let's see, I'm reading one of the tech guys' reports on that, and it says, "Good news for now. Adobe has gauged our reaction and resurfaced with the $10 a month plan for Lightroom Classic and Photoshop. Regardless, we will test alternatives this week because price gouging is inevitable when one company dominates the market." Which is absolutely horribly true.
Again, because of lazy executives. I have used Photoshop since like 93 or something. I think we were on Photoshop 3 or whatever when we started. And a lot of Photoshop from Photoshop 3 is the same freaking thing that I'm using now. There's only a handful of the new things that they've added that's remotely useful.
I remember back in the day when we got layers and we were excited about history.
Yes! Oh my god, when it was more than undo, there was undo or just what you just did.
It was undo or screw you. That's pretty much what
Pretty much, yeah. Undo or screw you, pretty much, yeah.
How it goes, either undo it was undo or you're screwed.
That's
what it was.
This is true. This is so true.
Oh man, okay. Yeah, I think I remember like physically cheering when they said, "Okay, you have multiple undos and you have a history that you can go back on now." I was like, "What? Really?"
And I'll be honest. I mean, there's some of the stuff in the new versions that from time to time is really useful. The new Smart Snap is nice. It's really nice, but it's also not all that necessary. The Scrubby Zoom's super nice, but I can deal without it. There's a whole lot of smart stuff, I mean, that I just don't need. They haven't updated filters in forever. There's little things here and there, but I'm going like, guys, it just... You're charging a lot of money for something that's basically been 90% done since like 93. It's like, stop. Photoshop is neat. It's not that good anymore. It used to be king. Now when I do my personal work, I use Rebel. When I'm at work, I use Photoshop, and there's a good reason for it because of very specific reasons. But if I could get a handful of things that Photoshop can do in any other product, and it's stuff that it's been doing forever, I would get rid of it. I just totally would.
Yeah, it's and I completely lost my train of thought at that point. Wow.
Train of thought just derailed.
But somebody brought up a good point with like them charging so much for their stuff. They're like, Adobe needs to remember and realize, and it's like, and Microsoft for the most part got it right with a lot of their updates, that today's hobbyists are tomorrow's professionals.
Mm-hmm.
And if you price the hobbyists out of being able to afford your products,
well, they're pricing the professionals out of their products.
Well, and that's what they're saying. Is like, if you're already pricing
I'm a
the
professional.
hobbyist
I can't
out,
afford it.
how in the world are you going to think how do you think that they're going to be able to afford your products if they can't even get to your products?
Yeah.
And so,
look, if I spend $800-900 on a piece of software, guess what I expect? Mm-hmm. I'm not going to be paying a frickin' dime more. Yeah, that's what I expect.
And the thing is, with Photoshop, they should have the option of being able to buy it once, and if you choose that option, then have the option to be able to buy your upgrades. If you want to upgrade, okay, $50 here are the upgrades for the time. But the thing is, even if they were to do that, they probably would still gouge the crap out of you with that, and they would find a way to screw people out of that too. It's like, okay, you bought it once. The update's now going to be $100 like for the next $100 every 3 months.
Well, my thought is incredibly simple. You offer a bunch of ways for people to pay for your product. You offer the traditional way. If somebody wants to update, then they'll send you money for the update. If not, no. You give a monthly charge for those people that's the only way they can afford to do it. Perfect. Do it. You'll be a hero. But don't do what you're doing now, where it's this weird cloud thing. It's like, so, I mean, we even have it at work. We've had times where I've lost connection to the license server. Can't use Photoshop. I'm going like, no. I mean, this is going to sound a little ridiculous, but it's like Big Brother.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, you can use your software as long as we let you use your software. It's like, no, I bought the product. It's mine. I use it.
Right.
No, you don't get to do that. Nobody gets to do that. That's just bull. It's just, there's a whole lot of no. And there's like virtually nobody at work happy with Adobe, and we're all like Photoshop users that have been using it for decades.
Yeah, there's like all these programs that are now coming out because of what Adobe's doing. I mean, I have,
Yeah, and they should. They should kick their butt for what they're doing.
Yeah, apparently there's one called Affinity Photo. That's like a $50.
I've heard of it. I've not used it.
Yeah, apparently it's a Photoshop S program. It's only like $50, and they give you all free updates and stuff. And it's still working, but the fact that there's a lot of people who are using it, and it's been going for like a couple of years now, is telling me that it has some tread to it. And then this is the one that cracks me up. The screw you to Lightroom is called Darktable. But it's literally a Lightroom clone, and it's an open source made for photographers by photographers and digital artists and stuff. So.
Ridiculous. All right, how long have we been going? 47 minutes. That's not bad. I could fill in the arms and legs, but I just don't feel like it. I'm going to be lazy. I've already put wrinkles on this guy. I ain't going to draw that. Oh, okay, wait. No, whoop. Whoop. Ha ha! Lazy. There we go. Feet. Whoop. I'm done. Oh, that's so funny.
It looks really good though. I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Style.
You get an actual straight look at it. It's not bad. I'm a little off on this side. Let me fill that back in. There we go. Now it's not going to bug me so much. There we go. All right, that's not too bad. All right. I like how at the beginning of the video, 45 minutes ago, all the sunlight was coming in. Now it's like some kind of murderer could sneak up behind me and you get like the whole kind of thing.
And you just get somebody to wrap their hands around your face and get pulled back into the dark.
Oh, so that's why I just did that. I was like, oh.
I should totally then go around the corner and do that to you. All right, everybody, have a good night. The first Nightmare on Elm Street when the girl gets pulled through the little door window.
Anywho. Alright, so I'm gonna. There we go. That right on right there.
I actually kind of like it with the darkness in the background. It's actually kind of cool.
So do I. I actually prefer it this way, but unfortunately it's not. That sun,
Not very conducive to.
Well, it's also has always been very insensitive to my needs. It just has. The sun does not care for what I want to do with my life.
It's not the sun's fault that you're like sun toast intolerant.
I know. Well, I'm nice. Solar intolerant. Yeah. Anyway, everyone have yourself a good night. I will catch you later.